how long ago was that first month then where you made $1,000 profit?
That was May to June of 2024.
Okay, so almost 2 years ago. And between all of your business lines, your machines and your magnets, what are you making per month now in both revenue and profit?
I would say average. So last year we did 1.63 million.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Your first full year.
Yeah, it was pretty
Wow.
crazy. And that's just online. So we do weddings, we do markets. I'm not even sure how much we've brought in that way just because we don't do it through the website. But like you can do weddings from anywhere from $1,200 to $3,000, depending on where you're located.
Wow.
And it's what, 2-3 hours, maybe a 4-hour reception. It's so much fun too. Like it's a dream job for sure. But yeah, that's what we did last year. That was revenue. Profit, we probably did about 600,000.
Wow. Okay, so like 40% margins?
Yeah.
30 to 40% net profit margins? That's incredible. I would imagine since you're newish, you're not even 2 years old yet, are your months kind of lumpy? Do you have like big months and then smaller months, but overall you're growing or?
Yeah, so I would definitely say it's seasonal for sure. So, warmer months where markets are prevalent and things like that, I think we do better. This month we did 104,000 in revenue.
Holy cow.
But let's see. I think it
As
was
in February?
Yes, that was February.
So in the shortest month, in the worst time of year, off season, you did over 100,000 in profit, or sorry, in revenue.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
But like, I'll show you, I think it was September or August. I think August. We did 233,000 in revenue. So
In August?
yeah, that was August.
Holy cow. And that was like your best month ever, I imagine?
Yeah, I think so.
So 15 months after launching, you did over $250,000 in revenue in 1 month and about 30 to 40% of that being profit.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. But
Thank you.
There's a lot of stuff I want to ask. We're not done here yet, but like you have a lot to be proud of. Like that is incredible. Your backs were up against the wall. You quit your husband's job. I've never even heard that sentence before. I quit my husband's job, but it works. I can see my wife doing the same thing. I used to make $14 an hour at the county jail working midnights, and it was miserable. She didn't have to quit for me. I quit for myself.
That's good.
Okay. Wow. All right. So that's incredible. So with a wedding, how is someone making, $1,300 to $3,000 at a 2 to 4 hour wedding reception? Like, are they bringing a machine and like stamping pictures for free? Like it's for free for the guests, but the wedding pays them?
Yes, and anybody could do it however they wanted, but how we structure it is, so the couple basically pays us, and then the magnets are free. So we will typically ask about how many magnets are you wanting per couple, per person, and then we'll kind of gauge how many magnets they want. Based on that, we charge a bulk rate. Yeah, so the more the magnets, the cheaper they are. And then we also charge like an hourly rate for like per person. We typically do a bit higher at like $50 an hour. Some people just give a flat rate fee. It's $2,500 for 4 hours. And this includes setup, backdrop, all the labor, the drive time. Like there are just so many factors that go into it. So it's kind of a personal preference, but like mileage can make a huge difference, depending on where you're at, travel time for how many people, things like that. But we just did one wedding we quoted. I think it was 3 hours. It was about 40 minutes away from our house. We quoted them $2,000, and it was just me, my mom and dad, my husband. And we basically set up a big backdrop. They chose which one. One of us would take the picture and send it to us. We found a better way to do it now. And so that's kind of how we went about it. But if you look at in the wedding industry, vendor fees for unique, special, different things, they're pretty pricey. So, but people are willing to pay it, especially because it's like their one day, So really, it just depends where you're at, how much you want to do it for, but people are willing to pay the price for something that's like this. So
it's a price insensitive event. Like people go into weddings knowing like, I'm going to be broke after this. Oh, flowers, 3,000 done. Videographer, 9,000, whatever. I've never bought that before. I'll never buy it again. I have no idea what an average price is for that. Like I've budgeted X $1,000 for this and that's what I'm going to spend.
Yes.
So for the wedding you just did, now this is a real example, not hypothetical, $2,000, 4 people total, you, your husband, and your parents. Is that right?
Yeah.
And what would you say your hard costs were on that? And hard costs being photo paper, and is that it? Your hard costs? I mean, you have the fixed cost of the machine, so I'm not counting that, but what were your hard costs on that?
Yeah, so we have magnet supplies. So like I said, it's about 35 cents a magnet. And that includes the cost of the paper, the ink, the metal, mylar, all of the different materials there. So I think we made 300 magnets. So
$100?
Yeah.
Wow. Plus gas, an extra $5.
Yeah. Really, that was about it.
So if that were for employees, I know you said you're charging like $50 per employee, but what are you paying? Like 25 an hour, 20 an hour, something like that?
Yeah. So my parents just wanted to come help. They were like, don't pay me. But if you were having employees, and this is where it was tricky. This was a huge learning curve for somebody who was learning something that hadn't been done yet. Nobody had made magnets on the spot before that I know of. And so this was something that we just had to figure out on our own. And that was really tricky, just because, sending pictures via text and then downloading them, putting them in a template, printing them, waiting for the printer to print. It just was a long process. And so we're almost done with a software that actually allows people to just scan a QR code, upload their photo, crop it themselves how they want, and then it automatically goes into a template. So with something like this, you really only need one person. If they're taking the photos and they're uploading them and you just hit print and make them. So maybe 2 people, have somebody printing and somebody making. But yeah, I mean, we have high school kids that help with markets and we pay them $15 an hour.
Wow.
So it just kind of varies. It depends on what technique you're using and kind of relays how many people you'll need.
So version 2.0 of this is going to look like probably one person at a table with the machine and a printer and some photo paper and a QR code and a MacBook, right? And so the wedding attendee, they take a picture, they scan a QR code, they upload it to you or your employee, you print it, you stamp it, you hand it to them for free, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, for what you just did, let's say you were paying them $25 an hour each. How long were you all there for?
3 hours.
Okay. So that's $100 an hour in cost. So $300 in labor, $100 in materials. That's $400. That's an 80% net profit margin, even at $2,000, which is probably kind of on the lower side, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's incredible. The only thing you clearly don't need any help, but if I were you trying to price this out, I always try to simplify pricing as much as possible because customers want to know what it's going to cost. Any friction between what the final bill is going to be is bad. And so if I were you, I would just charge this like their other vendors are charging, which is by head.
Yeah.
And just say like 100 people, it's give or take, but we'll say it's 100. It's going to be, $20 a head, $30 a head. And that way you can go work out all the logistics of how many people you need, how many materials. That if it's 100 people, I'm just making this up, they're each going to ask for 2 magnets on average. The chance of each asking for 10 magnets on average is like close to 0. And even if they did, your margins would go to like 80 to 70%. You still win. So I would just bake all that in and say either it's like we're 3,000 per wedding or, we're $20
That's a great
per
idea.
head.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, and this is something even for so for people who are super broke like us, we didn't have a computer when we started. And so even now with 2.0, you can do all of this through your phone. If you have a printer and a phone, you can do it. So
wow.
Obviously a computer helps. It can be a little bit easier, but it's 1,000% doable. That's how we did it for probably the first 8 months. So
yeah, with this wedding system, there's no special camera or anything. You have the printer, you have the machine, you have the paper. They're just taking pictures with their phones and uploading it. And it could be a picture of them, of the bride, the groom, doesn't matter. If they want it printed, you print it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any like logistical constraints, as in like it needs to be vertical or horizontal, or you want to like center the face, or do you just work with whatever you get?
So when we crop the photos, we'll just center them, just to make it easy. We have two sizes. We have a square and a rectangle size. So we've only ever done square, which just makes it easy. So however they send it, it should fit. But now with them cropping their photo, it's like they can make it exactly how they want it, and we just print it.
Oh, so they do that with the software when they scan it then?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
So they'll just scan
Super
the
easy.
QR code, select the photo. It'll prompt them to crop it. They'll crop it and hit submit. And then it comes straight over to our computer, uploaded in the template, ready to print.
What type of a printer do you use?
So we use an Epson ET8500. They're a little bit more expensive. You can find them on sale frequently for like $550. But really any inkjet printer will do. Like as long as you're happy with the quality, this is definitely the high-end quality that you do not have to start out with. So
yeah. So inkjet plus photo paper and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So you might not know this, but this isn't my real channel. My full channel is linked below or right here. Go check that out for full episodes.